I pray to the divinity in you. Do you have any questions? Few minutes I will give you. Yes.
Swamiji, do the sanskaras and karmic debts have any effect on the practice of non-attachment in the present life?
Definitely. Sanskaras means impressions of the past, actions stored in our unconscious mind, which is a vehicle for the individual soul, and that we come to this world with that vehicle, which actually motivates us for rebirth, because we have not accomplished many of our duties, desires, inclinations, wishes, wants. So that's a storehouse of merits and demerits in our life. Unless we have sanskaras, we will not get attached to the things. Yes.
Does dream interpretation have a place in this work?
What?
Does dream interpretation have a place in this work?
Why not? Dream is definitely therapeutic. If someone doesn't dream, either he's sick or he's a yogi. You know, there is similarity, not the same. Yes.
Does selfless service in general reduce one's samskaras, or does the selfless service have to be specifically directed towards the...
Selfless service is a must to rid off bondage of karma. If we do not learn that, that is a prayer we perform in Vishwa, the Ishwanara, in the external world. This external world will not allow us to get into another sphere, another level of life, understand various levels of life, and attain our goal. Many of us suffer because we do not understand the importance of selfless service. Selfless service is done not for charity, because charity word is used somehow or other for gaining rewards, either in this world, name and fame, or in the next world. Selfless service is done because that is the only one way to be free from the bondages we create through our karma. It's a great prayer. It's a great meditation, that as I told you, meditation in action. That's the only one way. The more you become selfless, the more you become you are closer to the level of life. Such a human being should learn to live for doing selfless service, because no one can live without doing actions. So there is only one way to get freedom from the bondage of your karma, is to perform selfless action. Yes.
Should the mantra be used in Yoga Nidra?
As long as you are consciously remembering your mantra, you will not go to Yoga Nidra. A time comes when mantra is remembered, but very subtly. Of course, that remembrance is so subtle, subtler than the breath. We will be discussing this. I want to give you some practical glimpse of that today. Yes.
Swamiji, in your view, for what purpose the God has created the universe?
God has never created the universe. This is our thinking that God has created the universe. This is He. You see, all that is Om. So God has never created anything. If you use the word God has created the universe, this is layman's version. This is not philosophical language, this is not scientific language, this is a language of religionists. Those who do not believe in arguing logically, who do not believe in applying logic, who do not believe in purifying the way of soul, who do not believe in any sadhana, who do not believe in any meditation, just to have faith. So they speak such a language. Now, I want to create something. For creating something, I need some matter. So I exist, matter exists. From where that matter has existed? Who created the matter? So there should be another third existence. And it's not possible for two existences to live together. You see. There will be only one existence. So this saying that God has created the world is not scientific. You see. Right saying this is manifestation of the Lord. Now, there is only one absolute everywhere. Now I say, is it creation of one or manifestation of one? 15. 15 is 1, 15 times becomes 1. If you take away 1 from 15, it degenerates. It doesn't exist. It becomes 14. You see. So there is only one everywhere, no matter where you go. There is only one self-existent reality. That self-existent reality was never born, never dies, is always present. So there is nothing like creation. So we can call it manifestation. God has manifested this world. This gross world is called Vishwa, Vaishwanara. After examining the facts in the external world, we come to know this is definitely a reality, but not absolute reality, because this reality changes. That which is ever changing cannot be considered to be absolute reality. That goes to change, just and decomposition is also not considered to be reality. Of course it is reality, apparent reality. But when we dive deep and try to examine all the facts of life and in the external world, we come to know all things, the way they look, are not the way they are. They go on changing. This ever-changing reality is considered to be apparent reality. That is called Vishwa. Now, yes.
One would have the duality because of the apparent reality.
Yes. Apparent reality leads you to duality. Now we will have to examine another world of ours from waking to dreaming state. What I wanted to tell you yesterday, this is waking state. During waking state, how your mind functions. Waking state is not production of your mind. Remember that. All the objects in the external world are definitely projection with the power and Shakti of the consciousness, but waking state is not a product of your mind. So how mind and waking state relate with each other? Now you will see such a small part of the totality of our consciousness and many fields of our mind, that small portion of our mind which functions during waking state, that is called conscious mind. That mind which functions, that part of mind which functions during waking state is called conscious mind. It is not called unconscious mind. If it becomes unconscious mind, then there will be no waking state. When it goes to dreaming state, it is not conscious mind, because you don't have conscious control over this. What you call control, you can use this word only as long as you are on the level of conscious mind. Are we utilizing waking state, which is called, in which functions conscious mind, properly? The more we use it properly, according to our capacity, with our fullest capacity, the more we are considered to be brilliant. But we are considered to be brilliant only as far as this waking state is concerned. You cannot say you are champion dreamers. So, what I mean to say, first of all, a human being, a sadhaka particularly, who is aware of many levels and who has started questioning life, who has started learning to examine all the levels of life, waking, dreaming and sleeping. Who am I to wake? Who is the experiences of all these three states? There should be some experiences. You always say, I experience waking life, waking state. I dreamt, I slept. It means that I, who is that I who remains fully awake when you were in deep sleep, when you see, dreamt, and when you are fully awake? There is someone beyond all these three levels or states which remain fully awake, who doesn't go to sleep. And what sleeps? Does consciousness sleep, or Atman, that individual soul, sleeps? Who sleeps? What happens to the memory? Whose memory is that? When you start questioning all this is a delightful world. Someone transports you, your own question transports you to the delightful world, questioning yourself, which are amazing questions. So those who have learned how to organize the external world by understanding the law of karma, which deals with the objects of the world, know how to relate with others, know how to deal with the gross world, then another question is posed by life. You see, there are many definitions of life. Physics says it is a particle. Physics says it's a ray. Philosophy says no, it's a different thing. Literature says it's a long sentence with many commas, semicolons, and without any stop. Philosophers say it's a book, manuscript written by you, half of the part of the manuscript is missing, and beginning is missing and end is missing. Only middle portion is with you. We have many definitions about life. It's a tale that has been spoken by the unknown. And the tale is going on, being related by the wise and fools equally. We can practically understand life according to the theme of this Upanishad. First, by understanding Vishwa, the gross world. But who is trying to analyze, understand and experience? Who experiences this? That this is not dream, this is waking state. So there is only one experiencer, and it's called Atman. That Atman is within you, and you are the Atman. First you will have to understand here, a sadhaka aspirant is needed to understand this, that whomever you call God, or absolute truth or reality, is not far away from you, but it is within you. You are, thou art that. You see. The experiencer of this universe, Vishwa, according to this Upanishad, Vaishwanara, is the same who experiences Tejasa, the dreaming state, who experiences Prajna, the sleeping state, and who remains, whose permanent abode is in Turiya. One and the same. There are not two gods. There cannot be. If God dwells everywhere, if He is omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent, and that power, that great truth, that reality, that absolute reality, who is considered to be God, they are not two. There cannot be. There is no space for two. You see. There is no space for God to move, because He is everywhere. Where can He move? Then where are you? The question is. Where do you exist? You exist in one of these experiences, waking, dreaming or sleeping. Your existence is actually existence of the absolute reality. Your abode is actually the fourth. You are citizen of many countries, many worlds, waking, dreaming and sleeping, but actually you are the dweller of the fourth state. I don't understand. How can you feel that you and God are two different? The moment you do that, you have insulted the Lord, who is inner dweller, who is everywhere. You are separating yourself from that. It's a great insult to such a great majesty. You constantly insult such a great majesty, that's why you suffer. Let you learn not to insult that great majesty. So what is your duty? Your duty is to establish that supreme I, which is indicated as Turiya, at the place of little I, mere I, which is called ego. Because ego has separated you from the whole. Meditation will help you. The method of meditation will help you, but you will have to include vichara, contemplation in it also. You will have to learn to have a dialogue, a pleasant dialogue. Now let me tell you something. If you are not in talking terms with your neighbors, how can you love your neighbors? If you do not love your neighbors, do not have cordial relationship with the neighbors, you will never understand them. They will never understand you. So is the case with you. If you do not learn to love yourself, appreciate and admire yourself, if you go on condemning yourself, how will you know yourself? If you go on condemning your neighbors, how will you know your neighbors? How can you say that you love your neighbors? And if you do not love your neighbors, why should they love you? From where have you learned this? Condemning yourself. You learned because you commit mistakes. That which you think today is good, tomorrow you consider mistake. And that go on piling. It becomes a catalog of mistakes and then you create complex. No. Let you learn to forgive yourself too. If you don't do that, you will go on condemning yourself. You will create a living hell for yourself. Don't do that. You see, biologically, you should fall down. Why do you not fall down? I stand, why am I not falling down? Science cannot explain it. You see. Biologically, you should fall down. You see. Human being is the highest of all known species who is considered to be very close to the ultimate reality. Once he learns or she learns to realize. Yes, you have not asked one question. Om is whether a woman or man, masculine gender or feminine gender. No one asks. It's a neuter gender. Singular number. You see. So for attaining Om, you have to be a third person. Then you will know neuter gender, singular number. That outer aspect of Om, Vaishwanara, if you know how to deal with the external world, as I told you just now. First of all, from the very beginning, you will have to learn a word called love. I told you just now, if you do not love yourself, if you go on condemning yourself, if you go on hating yourself, no God on the earth, no angel on the earth, no angel in the heavens can help you. You will have to have one thing, and that is called grace of the self. Remember this. With the hope that you can do it. You will do it. You have to do it. You are bound to do it. If you leave or drop or offer all your human responsibilities to God, human being is crippled. That is not called self-surrender. That is called being lazy and irresponsible. You see. So let you learn to understand one thing, that all human efforts should be accomplished. When they are exhausted, then dawns the divine aspect. That's called descending force. Yesterday, Dr. Prakash asked me, whom does he choose? Why? Whomever he chooses. He chooses one who has done his efforts, applied all his human efforts with firm faith, with complete dedication, with all his mind, action and speech. Such one is graced. To such one dawns descending force. There is a meeting point here, where the Lord meets human beings, the Lord of life, the truth, absolute truth, meets human being. You are still a human being, and yet you meet God. Christ met absolute reality. He did not become Buddhist. Buddha became enlightened. He did not become Christian. So don't be afraid that you will be changed. Don't be afraid of change. You will be transformed, and that's what you need. And system is this. Systematically, if you go inwards to the source of light and life and wisdom, first let you learn to arrange the external world. Let you have understanding with the external world. And that's not so easy. You all have seen. What sadhana do you need? It is tougher than Swami sadhana to live in the world with wife, children and others. Many a times you cannot do what you want to, because you will have to see want of your husband, of your children, of your people, of your neighbor, of your country, of your nation, of the whole of humanity. Many times you sacrifice your little wants, no matter how great it is. Wise people learn to deal with it by using something. Not renunciation, no, but conquest. Conquest. By understanding vairagyam, non-attachment. By understanding love. Another name of non-attachment is love. Non-attachment does not mean indifference. If you show indifference to someone whom you love, that is not non-attachment. Another name for love is non-attachment. Because in love you grow. In love you do not create a whirlpool around yourself. If you are not growing, then there is something wrong with your love. There is something wrong with your concept. There is something wrong with your life philosophy. In love you have to grow. If your growth is stunted, if your growth is not well, there is something wrong. So you should learn the philosophy of non-attachment. The other day I told you, you should learn meditation in action. But you cannot learn meditation in action if your meditation is not supported by philosophy called non-attachment. Vairagyam. Renunciation. People talk. They are two different words. I renounce this and go away. Don't look at it, and it's far away from me. What happened to me? I still exist, and this also exists. I remember that there was a table, though I am not attached to it, but I still carry the memory. This is called renunciation. When you renounce your home, wife, children, belongings, they still exist. You create a distance. Creating a distance means respectable distance, mentally and physically, means sannyasa, renunciation. Yes. There is something higher than that. That is called vairagyam, non-attachment. I am here using it. I am using it. I am assigned to use it for a particular period. I am making use of it. And after that I leave. I should not be attached to it. See? When father knows it from the very beginning when son is born, the day will come, either I will make him weep or he will make me weep. We understand this truth. When we depart, it happens. When you get married, you know it unconsciously, the day will come when my husband will leave or I will leave my husband. But you don't remember that day. You are not aware of that day, that fact, when you get married. You are getting married, you know it. No one guarantees, no one says that you both will go together. Of course, there is a yoga for that. How to drop the body together, there is a way. And some of the advanced yogis in Grasa householders practice that, and both wife and sit down together and hand over all their duties to their children and finally say goodbye to them and drop their bodies. Dropping their bodies, I am using dropping the body, means consciously changing the garment that is called body. That doesn't occur, that does not happen. One is not successful if one does not know how to practice non-attachment. Non-attachment means pure love. Non-attachment means love without object. There is something wrong with your love. You need something, you need someone to be loved. It means your love is so poor, so weak, so meek, that it leans on something always. It needs an object. You need a little baby. You need someone, husband, you see. You need someone, husband, with a bag of bones and something, flesh and all that, to love, you see. And if you go on seeing that you love this man, that man is not the same whom I got married. He looked tender, he looked gentle, he looked so friendly, now everything had changed. You see? This sort of love that flies away, you see, is not considered love. That is considered attachment. You see. So when your love is mingled, inseparably mingled with non-attachment, that love is considered to be higher love. You are in household, you are a householder to practice that you will be attaining not the body, body you already have. You will be attaining something beyond, who is controlling, who is the governor, who is the real center of motivation, consciousness within you, Atman. You forget that aim and you get more, you expand more in the external world. You see. Your love remains limited to the flesh. And you do not go inside that frame which is called body, you see. That is called Atman. You do not go beyond that body to the center of Atman. That love which does not grow is not love. Then what it is? It's called attachment. Attachment is mother of all miseries. No practice is possible, no sadhana is accomplished, no meditation is fruitful because we are attached, we are doing half of the meditation. This technique of meditation is very little and short, but it is not supported by the right philosophy. That is why the meditation technique does not lead you anywhere. It gives you a little glimpse. You see. It can create escape for you. It can give you some calming or some, healing balm. But it will be not leading because it is not going to the right direction. Therefore, you should understand that waking state alone is not the state that we experience. We go beyond that experiencing dreaming state. The portion of mind that is used during waking state, conscious mind is but a small part of mind, of the totality of the mind, because dreaming mind, sleeping mind, they are great, vast mind, only small part of mind we are educating. Science doesn't know how to get into dreaming mind. Science has not created any device, which helps us how to dream according to our wish. You see. Science can help you in injecting, giving you anesthesia and put you into artificial sleep. But that artificial sleep is useful only to relieve you, to detach you from the pain experience, not to bestow happiness to you. You see. Not to bestow joy to you, not to make you understand something about life. You see. It's a pain reliever pill. Knowledge alone can help, wisdom alone can liberate. So, you will see that portion of mind which dreams is not under your conscious control. So here comes the part of unconscious mind. Unconscious mind has a large feed. This is conscious mind, dreaming and sleeping. Sleeping. This is the field of unconscious mind. Now, there are many categories of dreams. Let us classify one after another, then it will help the therapist to know. Dream interpretation is very interesting thing. But it's just like grooving in darkness. What happens in darkness? In darkness, you see if there are white cows, any type of person, any color, you don't see anything. You see dark, everything dark, in darkness. Dreaming interpretation can be understood by understanding the behavior of the patient first. What is the behavior of the patient? How patient behaves. The way you behave, the same way you dream. I have never seen a fanatic Mohammedan dreaming Christ. I have never seen strong Christian dreaming for Buddha. So dream means what? Not the way you think or not the way you do things, but the way you are, the whole life pattern. For studying whole life pattern, there is only one branch of psychology, behaviorism, that says, in Gita, something is said. All other religious books of the world promise you to introduce God. But Gita says no. The theme of Gita is to make you a superhuman stitidhi. So Gita, from where comes behavioral, gives birth to behavioral science. Stitidhi kima bhasit, kima sit brajet kim. What? The student is asking teacher, what are you going to make out of me? He said, I want to make you stitidhi. I want to make you a superhuman, a perfect human, which is not perfectly boring, but perfect human. Sometimes this perfection business can be a perfectly boring. So what I mean to say, when you first learn to use your conscious mind, though a small part of the totality of mind during waking state, you make use of the resources you have. Remember, the energy of the mind is does not belong to mind. Mind is only an instrument. What is brain then? With this simply we come to know the difference between brain, mind and nervous system. This network of wire is nervous system. This bulb is brain. And the electricity that is flowing through that is called mind. Now I have good nervous system and good brain. But if my mind is somewhere else, what good is that? For mind, brain is the method of expressing. Through brain it expresses. You see. But expresses what? The power of consciousness that is there. Mind is a projector, projects to the external world. From where this external world has come, Vaishwanara has come. What happens to it? Does it last forever? When we see everything is changing, there should be a time when nothing, they will not last. All these rupas, all this nam, all the names and all the forms will dissolve. Sooner or later. Once they are dissolved, what happens to them? Once this whole world, this form, what is called world, because all forms change. This universe form is going to change one day. Some form lasts for some years, some other form lasts for more years. One day this universe is going to change. What will happen? It will go to annihilation. But even in annihilation, the scriptures, Vedic scriptures, ancients, Shruti says, Surya Chandrama Sodhata Yatha Purvam Akalpayet. Sun, moon, stars, and this whole universe, once it goes to its resting place, samambunam of life, then again it will come back exactly the way they are. It's a scientific law. If you have a seed of mango, no matter in which situation you keep, when it will find time for germination, it will bring only mango. In reality, nothing happens. This is all Brahman, gross aspect of Brahman. This is not actually world. This is all Atman, this is all truth, but gross aspect of truth. Another subtler aspect of truth is dreaming state. That's why we call it, it's a dreaming reality, a dreaming world. It's a reality, but it's a dreaming reality. It is a little bit different than waking reality. As waking reality is not absolute reality, it's apparent reality, so dreaming reality is also not reality, absolute reality. Absolute reality means that never changes, that always exists, that exists forever, that which is self-existent, that which is free from any birth and death. That which is, who is everywhere. We are studying that reality on all levels. This all is reality, this all is Atman, this all is Brahman, but on gross level. Who projected this? From where has it come? From the absolute reality. If it has come from absolute reality, then it is complete. It is complete if you see that absolute in everything, then it is complete. When you don't see that one in many, it is not complete. Because of the ignorance, you don't see one in many. Because of wisdom, you see one in diversity. It depends what you want to see. So dreaming state here is also very interesting to be studied. I told you, if you do not dream, either you are sick or then a yogi. There is a fine demarcation between dreaming and waking and dreaming. And that in Sanskrit is called Unmani Avastha. There is another after sleep and turiya, between sleep and turiya, which is called Samadhi. So there actually are seven states. You are classifying more, going into more details. If you just sit down and find out how do you go to dreaming state, you will find that these things, these forms are becoming hazy. And simply, finally you are detached from these forms to the world of objects. But inside you, the impressions of these forms are there. And you have capacity to magnify, to reduce, to do whatever you want. Outside you don't have capacity. Your mind does not have that ability and capacity to create a horse out of a monkey, but your mind has. It means you are free to do anything in your dreaming state. There is no law. In the external world there is law. If you want to kill somebody, you will be arrested, you will be punished. But in dream, if you want to kill somebody, go ahead. So in dreaming state, you have that freedom. What are you doing? You are not knowing, you are not understanding, you don't know the technique, how to use that freedom. That's the point. If you learn how to use that freedom, my Lord, you will be great. You can create many, many worlds. You are the creator of this world. There are two worlds, no? The world manifested by the Almighty and the world created by you. Your world is a private world. You always say, this is my home, this is my car, this is my city, this is my country, this is your world. And who creates? Who is the creator? Who is the architect of the world? Man or woman? Man borrowed this architectural skills from the woman. Woman is first architect of this world. Private world, world of yours. Man remained irresponsible, that is not in his system. So when woman got pregnant, she wanted to take care of her child, so she told man, why this irresponsibility taking me from one place to another, living under a tree or living in a cave? Why do you not build something for me? So she gives a drawing. One living room, one bedroom, one kitchen, one bathroom. Yes. And one veranda, just to go outside. So she is the first architect of the world. Private world. What I mean to say, when we learn to understand the dreaming world, we will have to see our culture. If a patient comes to you and you are a therapist, you will have to first find out which background has he got. Because that person will be dreaming according to his cultural backgrounds. According to his, suppose you know English and you know other languages also. What will be your language? Your language cannot be three, not possible. Your language is that language in which you dream. Otherwise, whenever you write or speak, you are certainly translating in your mind. You have only one language, and that language is yours, in which you dream. So for studying a patient, for dream interpretation, you will have to see the cultural background of the patient. Cultural background of a patient on 4 accounts. All dreams are related with 4 fountains. Simple way. Food. Suppose I am hungry, I will never run after a goat in my dream to kill the goat, bake and eat, because I am a vegetarian. You see. I will run towards the field, try to pick up some potato, tomato, or some salad, some other vegetables, because I have been. So I will never dream that I am chasing a goat or any other animal that we eat. I will never do that. Even if you are chasing in your dream, chasing one goat, lamb, because you are hungry. Even when I am hungry, I will never chase. I will look for the fields, I will look for the trees where there are fruits. Why? Because of my habit patterns as far as eating is concerned, food. So whenever you want to know, you want to interpret your dreams, you should find out from the patient what are her or his dishes, favorite dishes, what food does she or he eats. You see. Sometimes a patient says turkey. Sometimes the patient says red meat, this meat, that meat. You can easily find out. One of the great yogis said, you cannot think anything, but the way you eat, you will exactly think that way. If you are a meat eater, you will be thinking in that way. If you are a vegetarian, you will be thinking that way. But that is not only one fountain. Sleep is another thing. If you have not slept for 2-3 days, or for 24 hours, you don't have time to dream. You will not dream that day. I can challenge. If I don't allow you to sleep, you will not dream. Because what is important for you? To dream or to sleep, both are therapies. One works on your frustrations, another works on your physical and mental abilities, mental necessities. You need rest. So you postpone. Your mind or your consciousness postpones. I can dream tomorrow, day after tomorrow, complete this work tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You postpone. But I have to sleep now because that's a necessity of my body and mind. Sleep is greater necessity, greater therapy than dream. But dream is definitely a therapy and needs interpretation and can be interpreted by understanding 4 primitive fountains in human life. You can do it to yourself. Find out how it is possible. If you have not heard, please remember this, not seen, not heard, not read, to not come in contact with anything, how can you dream of that thing? The greatest dreamers of the universe are the great ancients, great people whom we follow today. We call them Avatara, we call them Messiah, we call them Messenger. They were the greatest dreamers. But they could not dream more than human being, anything else. What is the angel? Poor human, that dreamer, great dreamer who created the angel was a great dreamer. But what could he do? He could not go beyond the concept of human being. Good human, gentle human face, but with bird's wing. Could not imagine anything, because he could not imagine more than bird. The scientist who created aeroplane could not imagine more than 2 wings. You see. The scientist who created, vehicle could not imagine 4 wheels, more than 4 or 10 wheels, 4 feet. There should be some start from where you start in thinking process also. Suppose I think of the watch, then I will think of the wrist. If I think of a clock, immediately I will think of the watch. So there is also link and process, system in your dreaming process. Suppose your husband goes away, far away, you have children and you love him and he loves you. You did not receive any telephone call or letter. You are very busy. So suddenly you will find one day that you are talking to him on phone. Dream therapy. Dream is a great therapeutic thing. But if you are a meditator, it's a waste of time. If you are sick, if you do not know what meditation is, then it is a must, it should be done. That dream can be interpreted. Any dream can be interpreted by understanding what type of food do you eat, when do you go to sleep, what is the quality of your sleep, you see. What is your philosophy towards sex, you see. How do you think what sex is in life? And are you afraid of being died, being killed, meeting an accident? If you are afraid of meeting an accident, then you will be always having fearful accidents. If you are afraid of being chased somebody, then all the young girls have one and the same dreams all over the world, no matter which community they come from. This is not through cultural hang-ups. Somebody very ugly is chasing them, and they are running away, and that ugly man with the knife, sword or gun is chasing them, and the girl is perspiring when she wakes up in fear. His student gets a dream that he's going to the examination hall. He's getting late. Dream also follows your internal schedule. What schedule do you have for yourself? Waking state depends on sense perception. Dreaming states depends on mental condition, deals with your mental frustrations, desires which are not fulfilled in daily life. So dream is a great therapy. There are prophetic dreams. Because, after all, as it is important for us to know that there is Atman, Atman also knows that there is something called body, this is my temple. I tell you, any accident that happens is not accident. You know it and you invite that situation for yourself. Swami Rama explains it this way. Fear invites danger and any accident that occurs is self-invitation. You don't want to beat accident, yet you are afraid of accident. That fear strengthens and creates. I'll tell you something. Somehow or other, I developed a phobia. In childhood, I used to play with the cobras, with the bear cubs, with the tigers. But when I came in touch with the English-speaking children in the school, I created that fear towards the snakes, somehow or other. That phobia I strengthened in my heart and mind. Wherever I went, a time came, I used to check even my pockets, see the room, pillow, my pockets. Phobia is strengthened out of fear. I never examined that fear. That was imagined fear given by somebody. Actually, there is no fear inside. It comes from outside. We entertain it. We don't examine it. And that's why it strengthens. So one day I was sitting at the bank of the Ganges, just next to my ashram. There was no barrage during those days. You could see, Ganges water flowing. So I was standing. I did not know that there was a cobra standing there, sitting beneath. So 2-3 times I sat down like this. The cobra would go down and curl, and when I got up, the cobra would also go down. It happened because of the natural situation. See what happened? His Swami saw that, so he shouted, he said, "Be careful, there is cobra curl beneath." So be careful, he said. He made me careful but did not know what to do. And parents say, be careful, but that doesn't mean that is alarm. So what happened? I ran. When I ran, cobra chased. Cobra never chases anyone. What business cobra has to chase somebody? You are not food of cobra. Human being is not food of cobra. So cobra doesn't chase. It was my negative mind that was dragging the cobra. Yeah, I found out late. My fear, I was so much afraid that dragged the cobra. I have examined this fact. He was talking about physics. I took one of the physicists under a banyan tree. Banyan tree is a very big tree that spreads its roots in large area. Bigger that, it could be bigger that building, this building, one tree. I said, this is a very old tree. Do you remember? I wanted to examine the impact of physics on his mind. There lives a ghost under this tree. You see. Do you believe in ghosts? I said, I don't believe, but I have seen it. So I tried to convince him. I wanted to see the impact of physics on his mind. He was a doctor of physics. He said, I don't believe in it. Though you are a friend of mine, you have your own field, speciality, but my field is different, and I don't believe in anything like ghost. You see. He rejected. Next day I created circumstances so that he goes through that way again at night. At night he had to go all alone. And after that tree I was sitting to see what happens to him. He never used to say Ram, Ram, Lord, Lord. But suddenly from his mouth say, Om Ram, 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 Om Ram, Ram. He got afraid. He did not believe, but he remembered my words. What happened? My saying left some impression in his unconscious mind. And when his conscious mind could not deal the situation, the unconscious mind became forward. Because he remembered that there is a ghost. Physics says there is no such ghost, but Swami says there is a ghost. You see. Somehow or other, he went through that. There I stood. He couldn't believe that I would be there, so he thought, ghost, and he fell down, you know. He thought I appeared in front of him as a ghost. And I said, come on, I am your friend. No ghost, you see. For it took few minutes for him to compose himself. How the impressions that you carry in your heart and mind can distort your actions, beliefs, faith, and create some new faiths for you. Thus change your philosophy, living, and everything. They need to be examined. So remember that fears should be examined, and fears are responsible for accidents, all accidents. Accidents are self-invited, let me tell you this. There is nothing like accident. This is all determined by you. You are not aware. This happens in your unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind creates it. You have control, very little control, only on your conscious mind during waking state, but you have no control over your unconscious mind. To bring unconscious mind under conscious control is a great achievement of yogic science. To learn, now I want to tell you, those who dream much, excessively, perhaps there is something wrong with them. There are people, they dream excessively. This is called artificial dream. Such dreams have nothing to do with the anxieties and all that, frustrations and all that. There is nothing to do, so I am dreaming. I want to sleep, I am not getting sleep because whole day I remain, you see, without fatigue. So I start dreaming. Daydreaming is different from artificial dreaming. Dreams which need interpretations for the sake of therapy are different. That quality of dream which is called nightmare is entirely different, like bad man chasing a girl, running towards him just to kill him, a student running towards examination hall. That quality of, you see, nightmares are different. Prophetic dreams come when they can come accidentally. Sometimes accidentally here means without any alarm, without any awareness. They roll down from the valley of center of consciousness and they are so clear. Such dreams often come in the morning. Do you know why? Because by the time your body has taken rest, it is possible that you can dream even after sleep. There are two types of dreams. Dreams before sleep and dreams after sleep. Dream does not know whether it should come before sleep or after sleep. It can come both. Such prophetic dreams come after you have taken deep sleep, you are fully rested, and mind has no content, there are no impressions in the mind, there are no botherations in the mind. Mind is not aware of anything that can be considered mine or thine. There is no jealousy and discrimination during such time. A hunch, something rolls down from the infinite library within, and that dream is called prophetic dream, which comes true. It happens. Sometimes that which you call prophetic dream is that dream which helps you, which guides you, which gives you some glimpse, some pleasant glimpse for future. Prophetic dreams are not related to the past. It brings future to the now, and that's a great quality of dream. You see. But it happens only early in the morning when you are fully rested, and rarely it happens. During that time, you are like a prophet. You are not touched with the worldly problems, with the stains of self-created philosophy of sin. So you are free from those problems. Now, the method of sleeping. From waking state to dreaming state. As I told you, waking state, during waking state, the best method of using waking state, your conscious part of mind, by being conscious of the things you are doing. Don't do what you do not want to do. If you force yourself to do not convince yourself before you are doing, that could be injurious for you. Because after you have done, you will repent. So don't do it unless you are fully convinced that it should be done by you, it is good for you, it is beneficial for you. Don't do it. Why do you have so much stress? In modern world, this disease is spreading all over the world. This has crippled human potentials. This is one of the greatest diseases among all diseases. Why? Because you are doing something which you do not want to do. You are forced to do something. Jobs, paying the bills, everything. Living with your husband because you cannot do anything. Living with your wife because you cannot get a good wife again. Living with a particular friend because known devil is better than unknown devil. Everywhere you are doing things which you do not want to do, and that is giving you stress because there is a constant conflict, and that conflict within comes out as conflict outside. Do not do what you actually do not want to do. Because if you do that, later on you will have to repent. And if you cannot repent, that will create a sort of dis-ease, which is called disease. So waking state has some relationship with dreaming state. All that cannot be accomplished during waking state, you accomplish during dreaming state. But yogi says no. Why do you not sit down and meditate before going to bed? And that method I am going to explain to you. You see, if you cannot twist your legs, does not matter. Sometimes learning this new device from the Easterners could be a painful thing, because you are not allowed to sit at home. I have seen in modern homes, if some child sits on the floor, mother spanks, get up, sit on the chair. This does not allow the lower limbs to be flexible. And then one day you become robot. You see. Among women, those who have tendency of having varicose veins, they should learn to sit in any of the postures. This will simply stop that. It will not allow to increase that varicose vein problem. There are other reasons, but this is one of the reasons, you see. You can sit like this. The body is properly aligned, that's good. But it should not be tense. It might take few days. Don't jump and expect that overnight you become a yogi. As overnight you do not pass your master's degree, you do not have your PhD, so is the case with this problem. First of all, you should decide why are you going to sit like this. Why do you want to do all this? If you do not know, then your mind will say, why are you doing this? What to do next? Before you do, before going to bed, sit down. And watch your mind. By focusing your mind on the space between the two eyebrows, this is called Ajna Chakra. This word meaning, A means little, Gya means knowledge. That which is considered knowledge is received, though it is little, by focusing your mind on the space between the two eyes. Many of you do like this and strain, because somewhere it is written. Fix up your mind between the two eyebrows. We are doing like this. This is straining eyebrows, which is injurious. Now, close your eyes. Ask your mind, focus your mind here. What will happen? Immediately you do it, your eyes are closed, your senses are not in touch with the external world. Those impressions which you have stored within will start coming in front of you one by one. Now watch very interesting observation here. That particular point which robs your time there for many minutes is your errand that you have not finished, some work left behind, undone. You want to buy a car. For many days you have this idea. That will absorb your mind more during that time when the imagery is coming. The impressions are stored in unconscious mind. Body is relaxed. Conscious mind is relaxed. That is coming. When it is coming, you will see mind is paying attention towards that particular image, car, more than other images. Because you think you want it badly. This is called recalling that impression which is bound to give you dream later on consciously. This way you can get freedom from the impressions you have stored in the unconscious. What attitude should you have during that? Decide that anything comes in my mind during this time, I will not allow my mind to be swayed, to let go. This you will learn to observe not to get attached to the impressions already stored in your mind. You store those impressions whom you love or hate. Sometimes hatred is stronger than love. Your love is poor because your hatred is very strong. Those impressions are already there. So they will come. There are many varieties of the impressions you have. You can understand your actual inner functioning if you understand, if you analyze this. One interpretation of dream is different. This is conscious interpretation of the impressions which create dream is very healthy and helpful. You can ask your patient, what do you think most about my husband? It means there is something. Either she loves her husband most, or she is afraid of him, and she is insecure. Something, there is something wrong. How do you feel when you think about him? Horrible. It means there is some marital problem. So as you can interpret dream, you can interpret these. Why this particular thought pattern? When a thought comes, a thought is translated with a symbol, expresses itself with a symbol. Remember this. Sound creates a form. Thought creates sound and form both. So you will find relationship of thought, sound and form. They are very close. No. All the forms have come out of some sounds. There cannot be any form without sound. There cannot be any form without thought. My thought created this building. Your thought created this building. This whole creation is a thought. So creation virtually means thought. When you learn to interpret, that's called inspection within, introspection. When you start doing inspection, in the beginning you will not do inspection. In the beginning, you will get involved with your thought patterns because they are yours, they are stored by you. But after some time, when you will learn, the thoughts will come, go away. You can inspect the thoughts, but you don't get involved. It is a sort of interpretation, exactly like the dream you interpret. It's very healthy and helpful. Why this thought is coming to my mind again and again? Suddenly you meet someone at the airport. You forget everyone, your children, your home, but you think of that person. Why? What is that? Why did you like that person? You can interpret all the symbols because dream could be symbolic. Sometimes the dreams you cannot interpret because the symbols that you see in the dream are not known to you. But when you learn to understand your thoughts, by understanding the dream, symbols, by understanding the sound, that every symbol is a part of the sound, and every sound makes a form, and every form is created by your thought, then you know thought, sound, and form has very close relationship. I think you all are hungry. I've forgotten that I have spoken much. But tomorrow I want to lead you more towards subtler realms of your unconscious mind. So first you should learn to observe your thinking process. I observe something with attachment, that is not called observation. Observing something. No. You have to observe as a judge. You don't have to observe something as a culprit. That's the point. What should be your attitude when you observe your thinking process? You should decide before you observe that any thought comes, I will not get involved. I will be very clear in my mind. Any thought comes, If it is a bad thought that hurts me, let it come, it should not hurt me. If it is that good thought, it should not please me, it's a thought. So I leave you here. Tomorrow we'll be there again.